What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Ridiculously Professional, episode 10. For everybody that's just joining us, this is the Unconventional Business Show for the people that are looking to advance their careers in tech. Zach, what is going on?
What's up, Branson? Glad to be back in the office here. We have a good show lined up today. There's been some interesting topic points out there, and excited to dive right into it.
Dude, there has been some really good ones, and I have to, before we hop in, I have to throw this. I think that Alex Hormozy himself has been watching us. I don't know if you remember, back to episode 2, I think it was.
The beginning.
Yeah, where we talked about sending out memes instead of talking about follow-ups. I saw he had a post the other day that was like, quit writing following up. You're going to want to send a meme out. All I'm saying is I think that we're trend-setting here.
I feel so too. Alex, if you're listening, man, just thank you for being a tuned-in listener. If you ever need a shout-out or anything, we're happy to give the new book a shout-out, which congrats. But yeah, we were the first to the table to say that memes work in sales, just if anybody out there doesn't believe us. But, fun story about that, real quick, is when we were talking about that, I actually did end up doing it. And I had this prospect who was kind of ghosting for a while, and I sent him the classic the Pablo Escobar waiting on the bench meme, and literally no text or anything, and the guy responded and immediately was like, hey, sorry, we haven't been in touch, let's schedule a meeting, and we got him back in the pipeline. So real story there. Like, memes do work, and thank you, Hormozy, for further proving what we already proved.
Love to help out the small creators.
We love to help out those SMBs, baby. Let's go.
So, want to hop in? The way that we set the show up, we've got 5-minute segments. The first segment is the tech report. Zach, there's a massive story that's been kind of hitting the tech world.
Yeah, and let's run it. Let's get right into it. So, I mean, everyone knows about Salesloft, the sales engagement platform, kind of CRM mix. And recently the CRO came out in a podcast, very recently, kind of talking about like the end of the BDR and SDR era. And real quick, Branson, before we dive deeper into that, for anyone who listens, which I know there are some people out there who are not necessarily in the sales world, BDRs or SDR stands for Business Development Representative or Sales Development Representative. And traditionally, their role in an organization is to manage top of the funnel and to garner interest and curiosity, and to get like potential deals in the pipeline that then account executives go and close, or work and eventually close, right? So with all this AI stuff and everything that's been coming out with automation, the CRO of Salesloft recently kind of went out there and said that they had already eliminated their BDR and SDR function internally. And largely, Branson, it was because the numbers they saw were that AE or account executive generated pipeline converts 3 to 4x better. But this opens up a wormhole or a can of worms of like inferences, perspectives, what's real, what's not. And we're gonna have a conversation about what we think about that. So starting off, like, Branson, where do you think BDRs, SDRs are at in the function of the modern sales motion with AI and automation in the mix?
I think that the BDR/SDR function the whole time has been actually more of a marketing function on top of a sales function. And I think that that's something that's not thought about with this AI. It's been thought as it's just straight outreach, kind of binary. Call goes out. Are you interested? Yes, no. Move on to the next one. And I don't see the SDR function as that. I think that they're really missing something with that.
And I want to throw in here real quick. You said something that's really key that I think everyone's missing is that the SDR and BDR function really ought to live from a marketing perspective. So
yes,
Branson, we don't have to bring in real numbers here, but like, of the amount, if you're like in a marketing motion and you're trying to sell to an industry, the amount of people, or let's say potential opportunities that come into the funnel and end up converting to sales pipeline, ballpark, what do you think that number is?
Low. It's not real low. It's a low number.
It's a low number. Like I'm working the booking industry, but like reservation system industry, and even with us, with our booking platforms, like the fact of the matter is a lot more people go through a booking process or click into a booking process than who actually convert. And if you're looking at anywhere, close to 10%, but that 10% is crazy good.
Oh yeah.
But if you're converting at anywhere in that 5, 7 ballpark, like you have a good functioning flow.
Yep.
So let's bring this back into BDR, SDR. If you're looking at them as like, they're just going to go out there and randomly generate immediate closes or deals that will close immediately, I think you're kind of missing the bigger picture of what the BDR, SDR function is accomplishing for the organization, no?
Yeah, well, and I also think that, like you said, they're getting the word out there. It might not pop up now, even like you said, the 5 to 7, that's immediate. But over time, as we know, with having your BDR or SDR call over and over and over again, it takes, I think they said like 7 times for somebody to hear about your product or your idea before they start thinking. That's not going to be immediate. And just looking at purely as this person one call closes is not the right data.
No. And the other can of worms that this kind of opens up is let's like have a conversation. Is account executives accurately tracking their conversions? I sure hope so. As a sales leader in an organization, I operate under the judgment that everyone is operating under good faith. But the fact of the matter is, like, is the AE working deals that might not show up on the pipeline screen? Probably. Probably.
Are you implying, wait a second, that maybe some AEs, the data in Salesforce or HubSpot or whatever may not be the whole picture?
Should I hide my face? Am I going defamation right now? Yeah.
No way.
Right. Like, I can sense your sarcasm. It's like, let's be honest, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So I think like everyone's working deals all day long. I have the pleasure of working in the marine tourism industry, and I go down to docks and on the water all the time, and I'll go talk to an operator. And just because I said hi to an operator and asked them about their business and had a couple questions about their booking flow and whatnot, does that mean like I'm immediately translating them into Pipedrive, which is what we use for like? No, I'm gonna get them in the pipeline once they're like a legitimate SQL, sales qualified lead, which is that there's a potential at closing. So of course conversion rates are going to look higher if they're AE generated, because if there's 30 deals showing up on a pipeline, your AE is probably actually working 50.
I mean, that's a great stat to really look at, that it's going to be more volume based overall.
Yeah. So bringing this back, is the SDR and BDR motion, is that top of the funnel motion, is that in like, is it in shambles? Like, is there not going to be an opportunity for that role to happen because it's all going to be account executive led, or it's all going to be AI led, or a combination of both? I don't think so.
I don't actually. I think that with the AI motion, actually the SDR and BDR function is even more important right now.
Yes.
Because
now,
it's
why?
real
Why?
Because it's real connection.
Yes.
I think that having real connection, you don't know until you're calling up Steve, who's had a bad day about something, then you've made that, connect, you're calling him back up. Hey, last time we talked, I know your daughter, it was her birthday. How was that going? Like getting real connection with the person so they know that you're going to be there. That's AI is not going to be able to pull that off. Nobody wants to connect with an AI.
One of the greatest sales reps, fictional sales reps of all time, was Michael Scott from The Office. And what you just said reminded me of his note cards, his Rolodex.
Yeah.
They're like, with that episode, they're like trying to find his Rolodex, and they eventually find it thinking that there's going to be like all these amazing leads. But then it's just like the name of the person and then one like adjective, adverb, or noun. And it's like running. And then when they finally get to Michael Scott, he's like, what are these leads? And he's like, oh, running. And then he goes on this like crazy rant of like how that word made him remember all of these like specific instances with this prospect, right? And it was just like a beautiful like follow-up process. And it kind of leads into what you're saying there is like, human connection is always going to matter in sales. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that again. Human connection is always going to matter in sales, right? And like, I just think it's a little too quick to drop a complete segment of sales that has one been around and is tested and is tried and true under the circumstances that the account executive led pipeline is converting quicker. I think you're kind of missing an opportunity. You're like shutting down a revenue funnel that, yeah, maybe sure it has a little bit of a lower conversion rate. It should, because it takes all these touch points, but like you're now just cutting off an entire conversion funnel. Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, or I'm sorry, like lead funnel. Because at the end of the day, account executives are busy closing deals.
We're past our timer, but do you want to also go into the fact of, SDRs, if you start cutting that function out, that's one of the entry pieces into
Yeah.
becoming an AE. And if you cut out the entry piece, all you have is this self-contained, group of people who are doing the same things. They're not learning new ideas. They're not, it kind of cuts off the whole ecosystem.
100%. To your first question, yeah, this is good. Let's go a little longer. We'll
Yeah.
take some time out of another segment. But going back into that, I just want to share a super quick story of how I got into sales. And I've shared this on LinkedIn and whatnot, and I love my story. But I was a boat captain and an assistant general manager for a boat tour company here in San Diego, California. And I got a random email from our tech partner that they were hiring BDRs. I didn't even know, Branson, what BDR stood for. I'm not sure if I still know what it stands for, guys. That, but no, I didn't even know. But I was really excited about getting into tech in a time when it was at its like heyday, if you will, or like a surge moment of getting into tech. And so I ended up getting this job, and my life has like completely changed since, for the positive, and in ways that I would never have foreseen coming if I didn't have this what do they call that, like the like stomping grounds, if you will, to be a
Yeah.
BDR and SDR and learn what tech sales specifically is all about. So yeah, to your question, it does beg a good question. Are we preventing the future of sellers if they're not giving like a space to go out into the market and learn how to do the thing that everybody, even if you don't work in sales, should know how to do, which is
Yeah.
sell curiosity. Like,
That's
we're
hang on. Will you throw that one out there again? Because I think that's huge, is showing what a BDR really does.
Yeah, I will throw that one out there again, Branson. The role of the BDR is to sell curiosity. The role of someone interviewing or trying to get in, or someone who's trying to get a job interview, is to sell curiosity. The role of someone who's trying to get funding for a company is to sell curiosity. That's like the first step. If you can sell curiosity, guess what? You just got yourself to a lunch meeting with the CRO of Salesloft. And now you have an opportunity to sell him. Guess what you didn't do? You didn't sell your platform at all yet. You just sold curiosity to learn about something else. So that's the problem with jumping people right into an account executive role, is you're immediately teaching them, hey, your job is to sell this platform or this product. That is not the fundamental role of a sales position. The fundamental role of a sales position is to sell curiosity. And then whatever product you sell after that is what the next step of that transition is. So if we get people out of this role as the SDR BDR function, we're essentially taking AAA out of the MLB, right? And it's just like, hey, straight to the big leagues, like sink or swim. Whereas the AAA, I could probably look up some quick stats, like greatest players who've ever come out of AAA, but like you're taking away the bench, you're taking away the future of the selling generations, right?
I think that's actually one of the hugest like ideas that you've thrown out there that we've had on the show so far, is really summarizing kind of how sales, goes, and what sales really is. Because I think that too much of the time it's being told as, you sell product. Here I have a product, deliver product. It's an order taker position, and that is it.
Hey, let me throw out some names for you real quick. I just asked chat. So let's, like, if we were looking at this in the lens of greatest all time, right? I'm just going to throw some names out there. All my sports folks will know what the heck I'm talking about here. Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw, Justin Verlander, Aaron Judge, Freddie Freeman, Bryce Harper, and my favorite, Branson, and my hometown hero, Fernando Tatis Jr. Let's go San Diego Padres. But all those players came out at AAA, right? So why are we taking away this building ground to build up the next generation? I don't know, man. I think it's kind of crazy.
I think this is something we both feel pretty strongly about, because we really like the culture of sales. To me, it's kind of messing with the entire culture of it. It's making everything bottom line. And sure, those numbers might make sense on one side of things, but we know that in a sales org, there's a lot more that's going on. It's actually more of a team, and you're really dropping one piece of the team out in this. And I think that that's going to have bigger problems across the sales org the whole way through, because now it's just bottom line. It's not about the people anymore.
Exactly. That was fun. I really enjoyed that conversation. I hope everyone out there did too. Real quick, if you guys are enjoying the conversation too, throw in your thoughts in the comments, see what you guys are thinking. If you have thoughts on this, we want to hear different perspectives. And as always, give us a like, comment, subscribe, help us out and reach more audiences. But Branson, it sounds like what do we got with AI? Let's talk a little bit AI, yeah?
Yeah, with AI, we kind of have learned at this point in time that there's a lot of hype around AI, and kind of like we just talked about, this whole replacing people thing is not working for a lot of companies. And I think that writing it off completely is not seeing it for the tool that it is. So, when we had our interview, or we did our last show with Kate Hinkle, who is the BDR for Common Room, he made a comment about, spending a lot of time focusing on doing research for leads. And it made me think about, like back in the day, what was the common knowledge that your manager usually told you?
Figure it out as you go.
Figure it out as you go. Don't spend time, researching all these companies. You don't even know if they're going to pick up the phone. Figure it out as you go. But now we have the opportunity for AI. And I think that this is something that can be used for more than just sales. I think the people that are taking job interviews can do a lot more research even quickly. And so I wanted to give some real practical knowledge of what we could, how you can use AI to quickly research companies. So this is going to be my 5 C's is what I'm going to call it for researching companies. So here's the 5 C's for researching companies. The first one is core. This is what the company does and who they serve. The second one is customers. Who already trusts this company? What testimonials they have? Third one is competitors. Who they're going to work against? Who else is in the game? Who competes with these people? Challenges. A lot of people see this as pain points. So challenges are well known as pain points. For salespeople, a lot of time you can get these challenges before you even talk to people. So you don't have to, say, what are your pain points for this? You already get ahead of it and you know that. The last one is culture. This is the vibe of the people in the company, and this will help you to set the tone for the call. So I feel by taking this information, you can quickly put this into whatever your AI of choice is and say, here's the 5 C's. I'm going to give you the name of a company. Give me all the information for this. And then you'll be able to quickly run your demo, run your interview. This way you actually don't have to stop researching companies. You just have to research them more efficiently.
100%. And I think it's actually kind of insane that we even have to talk about this. But I was recently going through a interview process for the company I work for, WaveRes, and while I was doing a lot of these interviews, I think one thing that stood out kind of negatively, honestly, and I'm not bashing anybody, and I hope if anyone's listening, don't take this personally. It's an opportunity to grow, but the amount of research that didn't happen going into that first, second, and even third interview was concerning. It was concerning. And to your original point about having a manager and what was the sales motion, hey, just pick up the phone and dial, baby. Guys,
we sold in the 1940s. So.
Yeah, that's the old days where you got you're plugging in the line and then into the next line, and those were the auto dialers of the fast.
Operator, please send me over.
Operator, what's the pain point for XYZ business? Right. Well, we have, but jokes aside, we have that now. And
yeah,
what I've been using a lot is AI mode and Google search. So now for to prep for demos and to prep for cold calls, to prep for anything that involves any organization outside of our business and any potential, not only prospects, but also potential partnerships through other vendors, is I'll just go into AI mode and I'll just like let it spit out to me all this information about the business. And this might transition nicely actually into a topic that's coming up here, but going into the demo, one of the first things it will just give me is like, okay, like I operate with a lot of like family owned businesses in tourism, right? And it will be like, all right, this is a family owned business. They started in, 1995. XYZ, they were on the news over this, blah, blah, blah. It's AI's search mode on Google has like their recent news stories on the right side. So any news that came up. And man, it's just like a phenomenal way to start a conversation and just be like, not to like, I don't want to, it's not like I'm reading a script or anything, but it's like, I could be like, oh, I see that you're a family owned business that started in 1995 and you were on the news. But let's be honest, like, I just stuck by doing stuff like that. You stand out from all the competitors, from all your other interview candidates, and colleagues. Like, it's just such an easy way to stand out, just doing the research.
Even something just to throw in what you just said before we hop into the next thing is, I don't think that people care. Like, you're taking an active interest in them. That's a lot better to really like get into the company, do all the things, than it is to just skip over it completely.
Yeah. And this is a thread. Like, this is the classic efficiency over quality.
Yeah.
Where does that line get drawn? Because it could be really efficient just to rip as many dials blindly as you can. And there is stats will show you that does work. But like, could Salesloft have gotten their BDR SDR conversion rate a little higher with maybe following your 5 C's for every call and then turning that into a workflow that only takes 10 to 30 seconds to be prepared for the next call? Maybe.
What are you thinking about demos overall?
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of demos lately because we're in the middle of at WaveRes. We're in the middle of our selling season, and Branson, it's been a blast. Things for us slow down on a sales perspective in summer, and then post Labor Day, it just absolutely it just kicks off. And I've been having so much fun, and every season I've done this in this industry, I learn more and more. And I've had all these demos lately, and it made me want to just kind of have a conversation about the do's and don'ts of demos. But I will TLDR this and just be like, you cannot treat every demo the same. You just can't. Just like you can't expect an operator or a potential prospect to have the same exact pain points or same exact needs or wants of every other operator in the industry that you're selling into. Everyone's different. And I think our job as sellers in demos is to be really fast at the initial read. And this is a good place to start here, is like, what's a good KPI for the initial moment in a demo? Like, I click join, prospect clicks join, excuse me. We are in the Google Meet or Zoom, whatever. We're talking to each other. We're at the lunch, whatever. The moment we see each other, like, what's a good KPI? And Branson, I want to hear from you. Like, what's something you strive to do in your demos to accomplish in that first 30 seconds?
To have warm conversation. Like, that's the easiest, to make sure that we're just two people talking. I think that if it feels like a sell versus two people talking, trying to figure out if this is a good fit, if this is going to help them out, that's what I want to get to in the first minute. See if that's possible.
100%. A good KPI could be a smile. A good KPI could be a laugh. And you don't need to go out of your way to like try to do that. You should get to a point where, like, generally people like having good times with other people and like to be in spaces with other people where they feel positivity, right? So just bring that to the table when you're in these first demos. Like, don't like look up ChatGPT like a joke and like don't do all that stuff, but just like
polar bear way.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, keep it like genuine is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep it human. Keep it like it's just two people talking at the end of the day. I've always I heard a analogy one time that was like, what is a great salesperson? Like, what is like something they do or something that they're like? I think I brought this up on the show before, but internal medicine doctor. An internal medicine doctor, like the person that you go see for your yearly checkups, like your go-to person, their ultimate job is to diagnose and then send you to specialists based off any issues that you're experiencing, to be a good diagnoser. I don't know if that's the word, but the verb for it or whatever, or noun, a diagnosee. I don't know.
Diagnosis.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's not always going to be perfect English on Ridiculously Professional. I will go look that up after the show because that's going to bug me. But to be good at that function, you got to be a really good listener, and you got to just be talking to someone,
Yeah.
And let's kind of move on into the next segment. And on the note of talking in this is like, I hear so many things of like how much talk time is good talk time. Gong and all these other tools obviously do stats on this. Branson, I want to hear your take. Like, is there an end all be all, like, this is how much talk time you should have?
I'm going to actually give like a Buddhist or like, the answer is enough. Whatever is enough talk time.
Oh my God, that's such a cop out, but it's so true.
But I'm saying it as like, sometimes you will have people that want to talk the whole time. You'll have, you're going to have prospects that want to tell you everything. And in those, you have to sit back and listen. And then there's sometimes that prospects want you to lead, to bring everything. So the answer is sometimes it's a lot of talking, sometimes it's a little. Again, there's no universal in that one. And I think this is something that I'm sure there'll be sales managers that'll debate me on all day. But I think that the getting to know what that number is actually a lot more important than trying to be at some sort of ratio.
I completely agree. And the fact of the matter is, from real life stats, Branson, I've closed deals where I had like 90% talk time, and I've closed deals where I've had 10% talk time. This goes back to what we're talking about here, is you have to meet the person that you're talking to where they're at. And you can't just, I think I hear the timer going off there, but
yeah.
So closing thoughts, you can't really, you can't expect to treat everyone the same. So I think we're talking about correlation and causation on talk time at the end of the day. I'm sure there is a number that is correlated to positive results. And I think that number is, somewhere around 65 to 35. Like, they should be talking 65% of the time, and you should be talking 35. But it's case by case, man. You're gonna have some demos where somebody is gonna just want to kind of, you're like, where feature dumping might work because they have such a bad solution right now that they need to know all the different things that they can do. And then you might go talk to someone else where they have a similar solution, but maybe they need to just like really get off their chest all their frustrations, and you just need to sit there and listen, and that can alone help a deal move forward. It's a case by case. Well, let's move on. Should we do a sports minute?
Yeah, you want to throw one in?
Yeah, let's do a quick sports minute. I have some cool stories to bring. We're gonna dive through these really quick, Branson. I'm just gonna kind of let these rip. For anyone new to the show, we always like doing a little sports minute. We love sports, and we always like to correlate it back to tech. So I have some cool stories with tech, but before we get started, I did, Branson, want to give an update on the humanoid robot games in Beijing and how the team did.
I can finally breathe.
Right. Like, who won? Well, the long story short is no one technically won. But we promised we would give an update on how those went. So the Beijing humanoid robot games were in August in Beijing, obviously. Basically, they had all of these humanoid robots. Go look up these videos, guys. Like, it's crazy what some of these robots do. But they did all these different games, and we promised that we would give the results. So the results are in. So Unitree Robotics was the team that won pretty much the most medals. They got 11 medals altogether, and 4 of those were gold, and that kind of made them like the standout team. So shout out Unitree Robotics.
Thanks for my parlay hitting. Appreciate that.
Dude, I wonder if DraftKings or something, like, I wonder if somebody did, like, there had to have been some of that going on there.
Yeah.
But okay, so the next one, X Humanoid, the team X Humanoid, followed closely. They had 10 medals and 2 golds. And then I'm probably going to butcher this a little bit, but there's a lesser known team called Zhuang Hui Frontier Tech Center, who won the total score championship. I don't know how the scoring system worked exactly, but they got 1,389 points. So shout out again, Unitree Robotics, X Humanoid, and Zhuang Hui Frontier Tech Center for showing up and killing it at the humanoid robot games. Well, it is NFL season, so I gotta give some updates on some NFL tech, and a little bit of an older story, but it continues to be a growing relationship between the NFL and Microsoft. And on the note of AI, there's now 2,500 Surface Copilot Plus PCs and tablets being used across all 32 teams. Gosh, I would have loved to be the sales rep who closed that deal. That's a
Shout out to them.
shout out to that person or team or whoever you are, or humanoid robot that did that, because that's a big one. Cisco is deploying an AI-ready infrastructure for NFL franchises. This is like one of those, like, is that really big news? But it's actually kind of like awesome if you really think about it. So Cisco is partnering with several NFL teams. We got the Cardinals, the Bills, Panthers, Bears, Raiders, Dolphins, plus a few others. And it's supplying enterprise networking and cybersecurity. We love talking about cybersecurity and infrastructure designed to support AI workloads. So what's cool about this one, Branson, and we're going to talk more about the business of sports as this show continues to go on, instead of just like the tech and the sports itself. But this is like backing the business behind these sports teams. So I find that pretty fascinating. Last couple ones here. Amazon's Prime Video is boosting viewers' insights with AI. I actually just watched the recent Thursday night football game, which I will watch today's. We're filming on 9/25, and today we have a Thursday night football game. They're introducing two big new like features that are powered by AI, and it's pocket health. Quick thing for those not into football, a quarterback, when he drops back to pass the throw, or to throw a pass, the offensive line creates a pocket of protection for him. Essentially a Prime Video is running stats on like the health of that pocket, which is a very important part of football play. So kind of cool that they're adding this interactive approach. And then they have end of game predictive tools, which is going to be estimating comebacks and potential time left, or potential outcomes that could happen as the game starts to come to an end. Pretty cool stuff. That's pretty much all we got for Sports Minute.
It's amazing.
Yeah, this like last like at the high level overview, it's just increasing fan experiences with more interactive approaches to watching sports. It's something we've talked about time and time again. There's more speed and accuracy being made to decisions, and there's better infrastructure being set up for the technological side of these businesses that run these sports teams. And there's always player safety and comfort advances happening with tech, and we will continue to talk about those in the Sports Minute here at Ridiculously Professional.
Woo! We'll keep doing the money dances. We'll keep talking sports. Yeah, I'm done money dance in a minute, but
we're gonna next episode we'll do a round of funding, and we'll do some money dances.
Yeah. I want to bring it home with the leadership section. Kind of goes with this. We took some time to build this next episode, and it's the thing that I want to talk about is taking time and being able to rest in your a lot of high performers go, and I think that it's really important. Because I see it on LinkedIn all the time, like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. A lot of times you need to take rests. Just like at the gym, the only time that your muscles are actually being built is when you're resting. And I think that it's an important message for everybody that you need to be able to rest in certain periods so that you can get ready for those big sprints, because that's how things go, is they go in waves. And that's my big leadership piece for today.
Yeah, and I'll just throw in a quick thing there too. What's great about that rest is it offers time for reflection. And to your point about growing your muscles, not only are you literally resting your main organ of your body, being your brain, when you go through these series of rests, but you are also exercising another aspect of your brain, which can think back upon how your performance was, areas of opportunities for you to grow and excel at, areas for you to celebrate where you did really good. If you're always in go mode, you're never going to have the time to celebrate the wins, and you're never going to have the time to learn from the losses. So I completely agree. Rest is quintessential to success.
Before we go, wanted to say I appreciate everybody who's been reaching out to us. I get DMs quite a bit. We have people that are talking to us, giving us calls and everything, thanking us for putting this thing together. Please keep doing that, because it's what drives us to, kind of put this thing together, because we really want to help people to advance their careers in a world that's changing faster than conventional knowledge exists at this point.
We thank you, everybody. We thank you. And tell everyone about it. Like, comment, subscribe. Help us grow. Help us reach more people, grow their careers, get better at sales, get better, more interviews. We're just trying to help at the end of the day. So we appreciate all the early listeners who have helped us grow this thing from the beginning.
Can't wait for the next one. Have a good one.
Peace.
See ya.